Coming up on 5 Minute News. Biden signs burst of virus orders, vows help is on the way. Fauci credits Biden for letting the science speak. And world leaders cheer US return to climate fight. It's Friday, January 22. I'm Anthony Davis. With the burst of executive orders, President Joe Biden served notice on Thursday that America's war on COVID-19 is under new command, promising an anxious nation progress to reduce infections and lift the siege it has endured for nearly a year. At the same time, he tried to manage expectations in his second day in office, saying despite best intentions, we're going to face setbacks. The 10 orders signed by Biden are aimed at jump-starting his national COVID-19 strategy to increase vaccinations and testing. Looking directly into the TV camera, Biden declared, "To a nation waiting for action, let me be clear on this point. Help is on the way." The new president has vowed to take far more aggressive measures to contain the virus than his predecessor, starting with stringent adherence to public health guidance. A key difference is that under Biden, the federal government is assuming full responsibility for the COVID response, and instead of delegating major tasks to states, he's offering to help them with technical backup and federal money. Biden officials have said they've been hampered by a lack of cooperation from the Trump administration during the transition. They said they don't have a complete understanding of their predecessor's actions on vaccine distribution, and they face a litany of complaints from states that say they're not getting enough vaccine, even as they're being asked to vaccinate more categories of people. Although airlines, Amtrak, and other transport providers now require masks, Biden's order makes it a federal mandate, leaving little wiggle room for passengers tempted to argue about their rights. The action was applauded by airline unions and supported by a major industry trade group. Biden has directed the Federal Emergency Management Agency to begin setting up vaccination centers, aiming to have 100 up and running in a month. He's ordering the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to begin a program to make vaccines available through local pharmacies starting next month, and he's launching an effort to train more people to administer the shots. Biden has set a goal of having most K-8 schools reopen in his first 100 days, and he's ordering the Departments of Education and Health and Human Services to provide clear guidance for reopening them safely. States would also be able to tap FEMA's Disaster Relief Fund to help get schools back open. President Biden unveiled sweeping measures to battle COVID-19 on his first full day in office yesterday, with his new chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, praising his boss's willingness to let the science speak, in contrast to the Trump administration. This is a wartime undertaking, the Democratic president said at a White House event. The pandemic has killed 405,000 people and infected more than 24 million in the United States, the highest numbers anywhere in the world. Fauci said he was uncomfortable at times during the Trump administration. He did not mention the Republican former president by name, but referred to comments about the drug hydroxychloroquine, which Trump boosted as a treatment for COVID-19 before its efficacy had been proven, which Fauci said were not based on scientific fact. "I take no pleasure at all in being in a situation of contradicting the president," said Fauci, adding that he felt free under Biden to speak without repercussions. If 70 to 80% of Americans are vaccinated by the end of the summer, he added, the country could experience a degree of normality by the fall. At the earlier event, Biden said the rollout of the vaccine in the United States had been a dismal failure so far, and disclosed a White House plan that increases the federal government's role in the response. Just hours after Biden's inauguration on Wednesday, he wrote a letter to the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, saying the US had reversed the planned pullout from the WHO that was expected to take effect in July. The withdrawal from the WHO was rich with symbolism, another instance of America's go-it-alone strategy under Trump. Dr. Fauci said the Biden administration will resume regular engagement with the World Health Organization and will fulfill its financial obligations to the organization. The WHO chief and others jumped in to welcome the US announcements. World leaders breathed an audible sigh of relief that the United States under President Joe Biden is rejoining the global effort to curb climate change, a cause that his predecessor had shunned over the past 4 years. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and French President Emmanuel Macron were among those welcoming Biden's decision to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, reversing a key Trump policy in the first hours of his presidency. The Paris Accord, forged in the French capital in 2015, commits countries to put forward plans for reducing their emissions of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, which is released from burning fossil fuels. As president, Donald Trump questioned the scientific warnings about man-made global warming, at times mindlessly accusing other countries of using the Paris Accord as a club to hurt Washington. Biden put the fight against climate change at the center of his presidential campaign, and on Wednesday immediately launched a series of climate-friendly efforts to bring Washington back in step with the rest of the world on the issue. A cry for survival comes from the planet itself, Biden said in his inaugural address, a cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear now. Experts say international efforts to keep global warming well below 2 degrees Celsius, ideally 1.5 degrees, as agreed in the Paris Accord, would struggle without the contribution of the US, which is the world's second biggest carbon emitter. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.